There is no way to explain. I'm black, bro. Fat Joe is black. I hate slavery. I hate oppression. I hate systemic racism.
Man, roll the clip. It's August 19th, 1970, and Joseph Antonio Cartagena is born in the South Bronx to a Puerto Rican mother and Cuban father. Joe's brother Angel is the one that introduced him to hip-hop and was a rapper himself. Joe also had a younger brother named Raymond and younger sister named Lisa. Joe grew up in the Forest Projects where he claimed 80 to 90% of the population was black. From a young age, Joe experienced immense bullying and claimed to have fought 20 guys each day. By 14, Joe decided to leave home and venture into the streets via drug dealing. His older brother Angel was known as Money Man and was a known big drug dealer. It's 1992 and Joe becomes a part of a hip-hop collective called Digging in the Crates when he's convinced by Diamond D to start rapping to escape his life of crime in the streets. The hip-hop collective included Lord Finesse, the late Big L, AG and Showbiz, Buck Wild, and OC. Fat Joe was the only non-black member of the group. It's July 27, 1993, and Fat Joe releases his debut album, Represent. In an article with Complex Magazine, Joe spoke about the song Watch the Sound with Grand Puba and Diamond D, saying he knew Puba through the streets and Joe would be at all the parties and events, and he was hard to miss since he was one of the few Spanish cats sitting there with jewelry on and Dapper Dan suits, and Diamond D came up with the beat for the song and it had a Jamaican sample on it. Around 1994 to 1995, Fat Joe is recording his second album, Jealous One's Envy, and he meets Full Eclipse, which was a group from the Bronx that included Big Pun, known as Big Moondog at the time, Cuban Link, known as Lyrical Assassin, Triple Sace, known as Joker Jams, and Tomb, aka The Sick One. Joe already knew Tomb. Cuban Link asked Fat Joe to allow Big Pun to rap for him, and Fat Joe was instantly impressed. This started the process of Fat Joe creating Terror Squad, the rap group. It's September 14th, 1998, and Fat Joe does an interview with the New York Daily News. The article covers the rise of Fat Joe and Big Pun after selling large amounts of records. Joe is quoted as saying that he blames the A&Rs at record companies for not finding Latin talent and that there were always good Latin rappers before. It's March 7, 2008, and Fat Joe does an interview with WGCI about the N-word.
The people who criticize the N-word in rap, to me, really are people who don't even like hip-hop music like that, right? And then the N-word in rap, all my life since I grew up, has just been a word, a term of endearment, where people just be like, you know, I mean, let's not lie about it.
Right.
You know, something y'all love, you know, all day, right? It's all day, everybody, what's up, my nigga? So somehow it became a way to embrace each other. So like, and then they say, you know, they say that, I don't know what to tell you, man. I use it all the time. I feel like I'm that nigga. And the crazy shit, the dude like my man Reverend Al Sharpton, whenever I see him, he be like, yo, what's up, Joe, my nigga? And he's the dude who protests my like, because he's my friend.
That's crazy.
He realizes that he's my friend. So he says it to me as a term of endearment. So I don't know, these people, they do these things for these ratings or something. I don't know what they're getting out of it.
Okay, well, Joe, just to play devil's advocate, because I feel you 100%, because, you know, I'm from the block too, but...
If Fat Joe stopped saying nigga, still be 100 million people saying. Because let's get it serious. Blacks and Hispanic are the same thing. We going under the same oppressions, under the same hoods. You know, you knock on the door and you borrow sugar from me, and I lend you some, and you lend me some eggs.
Right. So do you feel like, because I heard you say that blacks and Hispanics are under the same oppression in this day and era, we still looked at it almost as the same. That
we are the same.
You have
almost the same.
How do you feel about people that say, well, why does Fat Joe have license to say that word? He's not black.
Fat Joe always had a license to say that. I don't care what they think.
Right.
That's the difference. That's the biggest problem, is that I don't care what they think.
It's March 11, 2008, and Fat Joe releases The Elephant in the Room. On the song The Fugitive, Joe responds to backlash about his usage of the N-word and questions who will be able to tell him he can't say the word as he repeats it numerous times back to back. It's November 21st, 2011, and Fat Joe does an interview with Vlad TV about the N-word. Joe swears on his mom that Reverend Al Sharpton called him the realest N-word in New York. Joe goes on to say blacks and Latinos are the same and hip-hop was invented by blacks and Latinos, and he doesn't understand the difference between the two. He says he's as black as any black person, and he says there are some people blacker than Akon that speak Spanish. It's September 19th, 2019, and Fat Joe does an interview with Hot 97 and says all Latinos are black.
All the music is African.
Right.
All the music is African. Brazilian music.
All of it.
Dominican music, Spanish drums. All the music is African music. You know, you getting on the Afro beat now. I've been in Africa. They've been doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It ain't new. All the music is African. You know what I'm saying? But you right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even in Puerto Rico, when you go to Caribbean, like, let's speak about Latinos not being black. Latinos are black. Mm-hmm. In Cuba at one time, there was 8 million Cubans. 5 million, unfortunately, were slaves. 3 million were actual Cubans. And they integrated and had babies. Same thing with Puerto Rico. When you go to Loíza, and when you talk about Santeria, that came from the motherland, Africa. You know, sometimes Latinos might even identify themselves with African and black culture more than black people. This ain't no crazy thing. Fat Joe ain't on crack. He know what he talking about. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm telling you the truth.
Well, the heritage also, too, because, you know, mainland American slavery is different than Caribbean plantation slavery because culture was able to stay intact. When you got to mainland America, they was killing black folks for trying to celebrate their spirituality.
They was killing black folks
and stripped all of that. So when you get to the Caribbean and you see that connection back to Africa, very strong in the people, it's very strong in the people.
When you go to Cuba, too, when they break down some of the santos, they'll also tell you this is the real names of the santos and this is the name we use when we were trying to hide it.
Yo,
to protect
that's the illest story. Yo, so now
it's November 29th, 2020, and Fat Joe does an interview with Dog in the Yard about his 4 months in prison.
So basically, in English, Spanish dude came in there. He got mad.
Yeah, I was going to tell you to break it down.
Showing me love. Right? The black people were showing me love, and he was saying, listen, all the Spanish dudes in here are my sons. First of all, that's a violation. Mm-hmm. He called grown men his sons. Then he was saying he runs them, and if anybody mess with the Latino, he's the nigga who defends them. And if I want to be defended, I need to just be with the Latinos and not talk to the black dudes or the white dudes or whatever. So basically what I told him was, I've been running dudes for so long that for me to do this cat little 4 months, me signing to you and you're my leader or something like that, they would have to build a statue out of you. They would have to give you a fucking Latin Grammy or something. You can't run Fat Joe. You need to call your cousins and ask them. I'm not a rapper. Number two is, I respect everybody, no matter what nationality they are. See, that's why I don't argue with people who did 20 years, 15 years, because they did it in the penitentiary where that really is a factor. But for me, Fat Joe, I respect people as human beings, and I love black people the same way I love the Spanish people. And I refuse that if people respect me and show me love, that I'm gonna turn down the love. And guess what? Matter of fact, my brother, I don't need no protection. This, that. So the dude starts laughing at me. He's like, he said, "Fa, tú eres loco, right?" And like he looked at me like, "Yo, you know, cause I am crazy." No, for real.
Fucked up.
No, like I really am.
7:30,
like
nigga.
I'm 7:30. I'll pop off right now, nigga. Like, no, you got me. I might have talked to you too long. Like, I really am crazy, nigga. Like, you got me fucked up all the way.
It's March 16th, 2021, and Asian hate crimes are at an all-time high with a shooting in Atlanta.
Turn to some tragic news. The deadly shootings in Atlanta, killing at least 8 people. A suspect is in custody this morning, and police across the country are on alert this morning as well, fearing the attacks may have targeted the Asian community.
The FBI is working with local law enforcement here, investigating these shootings, and while it's not clear what led to these killings, it is impossible to ignore that these killings happened at Asian businesses like this one directly behind me in Atlanta, and that most of the victims were Asian women. Georgia authorities are investigating 3 crime scenes across 2 counties in what looks like a series of deadly shootings at Asian massage parlors.
It's March 19th, 2021, and Benny the Butcher and Fat Joe released a song Talking Back. On Joe's verse, he raps about the virus and calls it the Wuhan virus. During this time, there were people that were blaming all Asians for the world event happening, even those that weren't from China. And given the climate of Asian hate crimes, it caused an outrage online, with many fans believing Joe was being insensitive and potentially spreading more hate and blame towards Asians that were not connected with the virus. This forced Joe to address the matter on Twitter, with Joe saying, "I'll address the Benny verse. I did that verse a year ago when the news was calling it the Wuhan virus before they called it COVID. I support and love all my Asian brothers and sisters, never hate." But people still wouldn't accept Joe's apology, saying, couldn't the line have been changed or re-recorded before it was put out? It's May 3rd, 2021, and Fat Joe does an interview with the People's Party about being labeled a racist.
If you're taking it offensive, then what do I look like, a slave owner to you, or I look like the cop who killed George Floyd? I gotta think about you, because you obviously know that you just said I'm the most important piece of hip hop. You obviously know I'm with black people all day. I fight for black people, I fight for Latinos every day of my life. I give back to the communities for black people and Latinos. It ain't just for Latinos, it's black people and Latinos. And so when you question me, I'm like, you either don't understand or you trying to spark a conversation. Today, I discovered on Instagram, there's a little thing called Hip Hop Museum.
I follow that.
You follow that. I just followed it today. I found it today. When you go to the origins of hip hop, bro, it's all black and Puerto Rican from day one. Like, it's from day one. This has been created by black and Latinos. And unfortunately, they've been calling me my nigga my whole life. And I thought that, I never thought anything else. I don't know what's going on with this world, that everything we do, we got to second guess what we're doing. And I don't try to do that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't try to let people make me second guess what I do, because that's not what hip hop was founded on. So I know they got a new group of kids that are like the Cancer Society that don't understand
the Cancer Society.
No, it's real.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, why is he white? He nice. They straight calling me white. And I be like, yo, do these people know where I come from?
That's it, though.
I personally, privately asked people who I won't say their names, who are the biggest advocates for stop saying nigga, like the biggest ones. I'm talking about the kings leading protests. I'm like, yo, and they look at me and say, oh, that don't got nothing to do with you. That don't apply to you. No, that don't. I'm talking about the greatest of, taking, the guys breaking the CDs in front of the labels and saying nigga. And I asked him like, oh no, you that nigga Fat Joe, are you kidding me? It's not you. Like,
right.
Those guys, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. If I'm driving right down the block and somebody's doing something to the blackest lady in the world, I'm jumping out, I'm dying.
Word.
Like, so it's offensive to me when people say, yo, why you use nigga? Like, don't you know? Like, I'll die. Like, die. Happy with my family saying, yo, he died for the lady on the corner. Fat Joe is too Spanish for some black people and too black for some Spanish people. I've been a mutt my whole life. I'm a mutt.
It's September 14th, 2021, and Fat Joe and Ja Rule do verses, and Fat Joe finds himself in the middle of controversy.
I do this shit by my motherfucking self. Really? Every fucking song got a feature, Ja. Hold up, Craig. I didn't see nobody come. Y'all seen somebody come out here with me?
Oh, them
I've been either.
You gotta go to the crack house to find them bitches.
Hold up, but let me tell you something, Craig. I heard you say something about I ain't had a hit or
Please
I ain't made no records
in
10 records or whatever. Let me just clarify this, right? Crack, you've been making records before me, and you're making records after me, and you still have not caught me, nigga. But yo, I'm shocked that you being so disrespectful to the ladies, Crack.
They need to eat something.
I'm shocked at you calling the ladies all kinds of bitches. I'm shocked that you show a little respect. Because you know what? I just want to give the ladies some thug loving. You understand?
Joe's comments were made in reference to Vita and Lil Mo. Lil Mo demanded an apology after the Versus event, saying she doesn't live in a crack house and she's not dusty or a bitch. Remy Ma responded to Lil Mo and said, "Stop it, Mo. You know damn well Joe ain't on it like that. First of all, you, V, Shanti, or nobody had even come out yet when him and Jaw was going back and forth. We didn't know who was in the back. Second, I was in the car when you walked through the parking lot and he hugged you and showed mad love as usual. No need for your followers to tell him anything. As someone that personally knows you, I'm sorry you were offended. You can call my phone. Matter of fact, I'm gonna DM you my number in case you don't have it anymore. But also, as someone that personally knows Joe, he was not intentionally trying to hurt anyone. It was a battle between friends that are family. Sidebar, street code don't do social media." This comment was confusing the fans, as Remy said they didn't know who was in the back, but Joe was in the parking lot giving Lil Mo a hug prior to the event. So fans questioned, how did he not know she was in the back? Fat Joe would go on and say, "I'm super sorry, I love you and Vita. I said sorry to your face before I left the building, and to Vita. I was caught in the moment and I'm super sorry, God bless." The next day, Fat Joe would go on to apologize on his Instagram live.
Listen, the first thing I want to do is apologize to Lil Mo and Vita and any women who feel disrespected by what I said. I don't just love black women, I adore them. I worship them. You are the queens. You are my queens. Simple. Follow the track record. For 26 years, for as long as you know me, you know where I come from. I love all women, especially the black women. I love them all. I am apologizing to anyone I offended. Anyone I offended. I was in hip hop. We was in a rap battle. I got besides myself. I'm gonna break that down to you in this recap. But to Little Mo, I love you. You are a queen. You are a legend. You are an icon. You did such an amazing job yesterday. I seen Little Mo before it happened. Hugged her, kissed her. After I realized that I went too far, I went up to her and tried to tell her sorry. I told her sorry. I told Vita sorry in person before we even left the building. Before we left the building, I threw the tweet up. I'm sorry. I disrespected. I love you guys. You are my sisters in art. Then I try to DM her. Then I try to call her. Then I text her sorry. Then I went on there in their IGs and commented, sorry, I love you. I love you. I love you, Little Mo. I love you, Vita. The whole point of Versus was to bring you out so you could get that shine, so you could get that light, because you deserve it. You're our queens. I want to make this clear. I'm not being insensitive. This is not a fluff. This is not this is, I love my black queens, my sisters who I live and I die for. I need you to understand this clearly, because I was out of line, but I was in that rage. So I want anybody who knows the girls, let them know I love them. Sid, not fake love, true love. True love.
It's February 7, 2022, and Fat Joe says hip-hop was created by blacks and Puerto Ricans.
So one time we do the Puerto Rican parade, right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, hip hop was created by blacks and Latinos. I need y'all to understand that. There's a new school frame of thinking saying that we were involved as a community, that they let us say that this hip hop was created from day one by black people and Latinos. There's just no way around it. If you look at the pictures, if you look at I posted a video today with the Cold Crush and the Fantastic, like Ruby Dee and Charlie Chase and Whippy Whip. You gotta stop, right? So there's people trying to rewrite history saying Latinos wasn't a part of hip hop history from the beginning, which they do not know what they talk.
Graffiti writers, break dancers.
Fat Joe is as black as anybody you could name in the universe. I don't take no talk back. I'm the original black man, and I'm telling you, it was Puerto Rican and black. Whatever y'all want to do, whatever lies, whatever culture, whatever shit you trying, not as long as Fat Joe's alive am I gonna let somebody say that Puerto Ricans and Latinos are appropriators in hip-hop music. It's not.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding. All you gotta do is go back to the you could YouTube that and see Crazy Legs killing them. You could YouTube that and see Gina Easton and
But I'm not saying some shit, anything you want to say, and yes, I'm Puerto Rican and Cuban, right?
It's February 9th, 2022, and Fat Joe destroys Joe Rogan over his use of the N-word.
This guy, Joe Rogan, is a piece of shit. And so, Joe Rogan is a piece of shit. And what happens is, and there's no disrespect to Spotify, because shout out to everybody else that's better than me who's taking their music off of Spotify. I'm not. And all my people there know, Joe, he'll do charity. Joe will open a business in the hood and give out jobs. Joe will give computers to the school, but Joe gotta get to his bag. Joe ain't crazy. Joe gotta get to his bag. And so I'm not taking my music off of Spotify, but Spotify is made up of black music, whether it's R&B, whether it's rap, whether it's trap, reggaeton, all that shit fall in this, right? And so because our music is on that platform and they make their money from black people, do you think it should be allowed for a guy to be talking racist shit on their platform? And not racist? Like, there's no way to save them. Man should not be allowed. This country has a long history of slavery, has a long history of systemic racism, has a long of people fighting to vote. Even now they're trying to suppress the vote. How does this guy even live or enjoys himself as a person talking the way I'm scared? I don't even want to repeat the shit he said. Look it up yourself. Joe Rogan and the shit he says is so fucking disrespectful. And so this guy's a piece of shit. I don't care who says they like him. This man is talking some shit he ain't got no business talking about. His kids should not love him. He is a foul guy.
It's June 9th, 2022, and Fat Joe does an interview with Angie Martinez about the origins of hip-hop.
What you're alluding to is almost like a cancel culture, almost like Twitter is the home of hate. And so these are people that really don't know the history or just come around and trying to rewrite the history.
Yeah.
The history's the history.
Yeah.
It is what it is. If you look at shout out to Joe Conzo, Puerto Rican, who if it wasn't for him, none of the early pictures of hip hop music or videos would have ever been captured. Like the Zulu Nation anniversary, everything that's legendary that started hip hop. He's the guy who caught all the pictures of the Cold Crush, everybody, boom. And in all them pictures is half black and half Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. There's just no way around it.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think some reason some of that got lost is because it was so New York. And in New York, you know, black and Puerto Ricans, we grew up in the same neighborhoods and we grew up same culture, same, you know, so it wasn't strange to us living in New York and growing up in New York that we knew where the culture came from.
We never even knew we was going to be famous, so we was never going to be
No, we didn't know none of that. I never realized there was a difference till I started when I got in the game, and then I would travel and I would go to different cities, and people would look at me like, what are you doing here? I'd be like, what do you mean, what am I doing here? I belong here. What are you talking about? But then I realized, oh, there's a cultural difference, but it still does not negate the history of the culture and the history of how it
Latinos and
started.
blacks created hip hop. If you go to Wild Style, the first hip hop movie, you will see the Cold Crush brothers. Their DJ was Charlie Chase, Puerto Rican. And you'll go to the battle that they had with Romantic, which was the first Puerto Rican MC. Ruby D was in there with the Fantastic Romantic. You cannot eliminate the Latinos' contribution to hip hop. When you talk about breakdancing, we talk about Rocksteady and Crazy Legs. When you talk about graffiti, like it's every element of hip hop. It was 50-50, bro. If you look at the pictures, just go see the pictures. You'll see it.
It's August 25th, 2022, and Fat Joe goes live on Instagram and takes subliminal shots at the FBA.
You know, I tell you, I never really fuck with Twitter, but I go on there to see. They always hating on me and shit, and they said they've been like lately talking about Latinos wasn't in rap and this and this. These guys are fucking delusional. We're from the Bronx, New York. Shit happens. And so when hip hop started, it's Latino and black, half and half. But they going at me because I'm like the only Spanish dude, like really with a big voice. Fuck that. And Latinos wasn't there. You was invited. You are a specimen. I don't know what the fuck is up with these people that don't know their facts. And so out of nowhere this morning, somebody sent it to Tony Sunshine. He sent it to me. I got a little video I posted. And it's only a few Latinos in hip hop. And we got the drum beat going, and this talks about Charlie Chase and Ruby P and Whippy Whip and this. These are all. And so what I notice is history is history. And so I don't get it, you know? And these people, man, they gotta stop. They gotta fucking stop. And so listen, man, we by far the biggest in the game.
It's October 4th, 2022, and Fat Joe does an interview with the Breakfast Club about the N-word. Joe says that he's actually trying to stop using the word, but it's hard because he's been called it his whole life and he's been using it his whole life. He also said that no one is going to pressure him into feeling or saying anything. Joe goes on to say that when Minister Farrakhan sees him, he addresses him as a black man. Joe says that he's black and he hates slavery and oppression. It's February 1st, 2023, and Nori appears on the Joe Budden podcast and reveals something Fat Joe said.
Two of my closest friends, which is Fat Joe and EFN, and they both had the same meeting with me. They both grabbed me, pulled me to the side, and EFN was like, I don't think you should do this. I think you're gonna ruin your legacy. And then Fat Joe pulled me to the side and was like, I never said this, Fat Joe, so I'm sorry. If you didn't tell me not to say this. Exclusive! He was like, fuck them Puerto Ricans. Oh. He was like, fuck them people from the island. He tried to throw you in there.
Yeah, okay. Put me up in that.
We got him.
Fat Joe, hey,
Joe was my brother. I love Joe, but that's what he told me.
Yeah, you have the relationship.
It's June 15th, 2024, and Cuban Link does an interview about Fat Joe not liking a Puerto Rican singer dating a black man.
He did that shit with the Veronica record. When I did the song, me and Pun did Something to Hold with Veronica. He put his song to be the main single that he did with her, which is nowhere close to what me and Pun did. And then when it was our turn, she was doing another video. She was going to choose that to be a video, Something to Hold with me and Pun. And he cock-blocked that. Had a fight with her boyfriend and all that, with Veronica's boyfriend at the time. Cock-blocked that, because it was fighting for us to make, to clear it. Because he had I wasn't even signed to him yet, but, we gave him the strength that he got to clear that song. Pun was on it. I was his artist. So he wouldn't clear that song and make that a video.
Why? Did he say why?
Because he was jealous. That's the only thing. He wanted him to get the shine. Because why wouldn't you put a hard-ass record that both of your artists is on? Why? He got in an argument with, Veronica's boyfriend with her manager at the time.
That's crazy because she's Boricua too and everything. Like, why you fuck up a situation with your own people all the time?
That's what it was. He had a problem because it was a brother. It was a black brother that was a boyfriend. With braids. I remember him. He was a cool nigga. He looked like John Forte a little bit. He had the same swag as John Forte. He was a cool brother with me, with everybody. So for him to even put hands on him, I was like, that nigga was hating, dog. He was either hating on a relationship with him or her, or he was hating on me being on a song because I wasn't signed yet, or he was hating because it wasn't him. And he didn't want that shit, on some greedy shit. He didn't want, whatever it was. He fucked that up. So those are the three situations that I put it where he fucked that business up. We went with him. We said, fuck it. Said, that nigga trying to play himself or something. Man, you can't believe Joe. So I know he made an excuse for him doing it. And they jumped him. It wasn't like he fucked him up. They jumped him.
It's November 22nd, 2024, and Smooth the Engineer does an interview with the amazing Panda Chop about Fat Joe's racism. But were your experiences with him positive, though? Like, from what you could...
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like you said at the start of this, like, a lot of people thought that I was Spanish. So, he would be on the movement of, us Latinos got to make it. We got to do this. We got to do that. And I'm listening like, wow. Because at the time, it was a lot of brothers doing the music, and he was coming in throughout, digging in the crates and all these other brothers that was putting him on. So I guess he felt like now it's time for us to like take over. So I would listen to that and I would take heed to like, okay, it's kind of like a little racist, but it is what it is. It ain't nothing bad, but it's just like, I guess he was so pro-Latino that he was really pumping that rhetoric at that time. He was trying to take it to another level.
Well, okay.
Pun was the first one.
Let me play devil's advocate. Okay, so was it racist or was it just that like he was really proud and trying to put on the other side of it because there wasn't really any prominent, that within the culture?
I ain't going to downplay. I'm going to tell you straight up. He was on some like, the Moyo's been doing this for years. It's time for us to come in. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically how it was stated. And that's how I heard it. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. It's pro. But at the same time, it was a little bit of shade there, a little bit.
But he got put on by black artists, though.
It's what I was thinking the whole time I'm hearing that. But I'm saying to myself, who am I? I'm just here just listening. I'm just taking in what he's saying. I'm taking taking in, because I'm in a room full of Black Latin brothers that are all in the music industry. You got to understand that too. I'm the only person there personally at the time that looked like I was. So I got in where I fit in, but here we go. That's the rhetoric that was pumped because he felt comfortable. He was in his own world at the time too. Like, you know, you're in a closed environment. You got your people that look up to you, and you got
so
some
you
people.
can say what you really feel.
Exactly.
It's December 13th, 2024, and Fat Joe releases his album, The World Changed on Me. On the song Us, featuring Remy Ma and Chris Rock, Chris does the intro and says hip-hop is the first art form created by free Black men. All the other genres that Black people created were done in slaves or slave-like conditions. Chris goes on to say that nobody exerts that freedom like Fat Joe, doubling down on the fact that Joe views himself as a Black man. It's December 16th, 2024, and Cuban Link does an interview with Panda Chop News about Fat Joe's racism.
I didn't have that upcoming where Black people treated me a certain way because I was fluorescent white. It is hard being fluorescent white in the hood. It is. So I understand his thing, and I understand where he had to fight for it, and you know what I'm saying, and become that accepted by the most majority of Black and brown people inside the hood that he came from.
But Black people put him on in the game though, right? Because DITC put him on.
Yeah, but it's still in you. It's still in you if you went through that kind of oppression, if you really felt that, you know what I'm saying? Which you probably felt in the beginning when you're coming up young. You have to fight, just like I did. I didn't know English, so I had to fight, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, to hold it to this day and age, like I said, man, I took that more of a little fire under our feet.
So he was the coach giving you guys the halftime speech, basically.
Yeah. I didn't take it. But like I said, I heard him and Macho say stories where now is demeaning and being real racist to Black people. Him and Macho.
Wait, what you mean?
The two white guys at the crew is him and Macho.
Okay,
and
but
I
know, but what is the story though?
Macho was a fucking, you know, he hung out with the Jewish guys. So he was really demeaning when it came to Black people. And Joe would join that conversation, you know.
Well, what is the story, though? Can you share the story?
I'm not telling you the story. I'll let them tell the story. They're never going to say it. But it was real demeaning, racial shit. Gotcha. But that's within, you know what I'm saying, the camp of the Spanish guys. But at the end of the day, I don't want to even say they are or they aren't. But I know my beliefs. I know Punch believe. I know Saces believe. When we came in, it's full of clits. I know the sick ones believe. We came in as we all is together. Now, if it was a minority of them niggas being racist in the back of their mind and saying racist shit, yes, Joe and Macho. The terrorist squad used to say a lot of shit that was racist. You know?
It's December 20th, 2024, and Fat Joe appears on My Expert Opinion. Joe talks about hip-hop being created by Blacks and Puerto Ricans. Joe says the rumors that Puerto Ricans were not involved were created by Black radical racists. Joe goes on to call them broke N-words, and Math received harsh criticisms for laughing when Joe said that. The next day, Joe responds to harsh criticisms by posting to his Instagram a picture of him looking in the mirror with Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror playing in the background with the caption, "And just like that, face off." Fans found this posting to be strange because people were starting to see Joe in a different light. Joe also posted a picture of him flicking off the camera as a message to the haters. It's December 27, 2024, and Raheem of the Furious 5 does an interview with Doggy Diamonds TV.
Do you think Fat Joe is racist?
Absolutely.
So besides what?
Reason why I think Fat Joe is racist? No, I'm sorry. I don't think Fat Joe is racist. I know he is. Because I was seeing a woman and her cousin was seeing a dude. So the woman was like, not the one I was seeing, her cousin, she was like a video vixen. And she was in one of Fat Joe's videos. And her man is Black. And so, and she's Puerto Rican. And so when Fat Joe was on the set with her, he's in her ear or whatever, and he was like, "Yo, you know, like you making our people look bad fucking with these monkeys."
What?
Facts, bro.
Repeat that. Whoa. What did he, so the female told you that he said this?
Yes, that's right.
Repeat what you just said.
So you making our people look bad fucking with these monkeys.
And this was a Puerto Rican woman. Now he was telling a Puerto Rican woman, say it again.
Yo, what you doing? You making our people look bad fucking with these monkeys.
It's January 7, 2025, and Fat Joe does an interview with Billboard.com and says he's stepping down from the BET Awards after hosting it for 3 years in a row. Joe states that 2 Chainz told him he was monopolizing hosting the award show and he wanted a shot at doing it. So Joe decided to step down as the host and pass the baton on. Joe did state that BET was not aware of this. Fans believe that Joe was actually fired due to the backlash of him dissing the FBA, and this was a way for him to save face. When it comes to this situation, publicly Joe has claimed to be a black man on numerous occasions and stated all Latinos are black, but yet has pushed the narrative that hip-hop was created by blacks and Latinos, confusing many fans. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Do you consider Fat Joe black? Do you think hip-hop was created 50-50? Put your thoughts down in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe and stay connected with Panda Chop Chronicles. Peace!